Today's video is proudly sponsored by my husband. He purchased all of this yarn for me. However, I have absolutely no room for it whatsoever. So in today's video, I am going to be doing a yarn haul and reorganizing my yarn stash to make room for said yarn. And I figured while we are doing that, I will be focusing on making a new background for all of my videos. So if you are interested in seeing what I got and how I'm going to reorganize my stash, keep on watching. Hey y'all, my name is Anastasia and I am the owner of RJ Crochet, where I make wearables, plushies, and accessories. If any of those things interest you, or you like to see the behind the scenes of a small crochet business or crochet vlogs, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to receive all the notifications of when I upload. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. As I mentioned, today's video sponsor is my husband, which means he provided the funds. I got to do all the shopping. Let's go ahead, see what I got, and kind of get an idea of what my plans are for it this year. The first skein that I got from Hobby Lobby is the Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn in the color purple, periwinkle, antique teal, navy, forest, buttercup, terracotta, aubergine, hot rose. The next type of yarn that was sent to me is Hobby Lobby I Love This Cotton, and of course the sponsor is my husband, not Hobby Lobby, okay? Let's just be crystal clear on that. The first color that I got is black, dove, orchid, soft blue, navy, forest, orange, bruschetta. Now I know what you might be thinking. This is the most random selection of colors. There's only one skein per color. It seems like there may not be any projects in mind. However, fear not, I do have plans for all of the yarn that I selected. I do try to select yarn that I know that I am going to use. And these two types of yarn are the yarn. Wow, that's a little bit of a mouthful, isn't it? These are the type of yarns that I use on a frequent, almost daily basis, and I know that I will use at some point in time. I can't tell you exactly when because I do have other plans and projects and videos planned out already for the rest of the month and a little bit into February, but I might be able to fit them in somewhere in between there. The reason why I selected the colors that I did is to have more variety in the colors that I already have. For example, for yellow, red, orange, I only have one shade of, and for certain projects I'm like, man, if I just had a deeper orange or a lighter orange, or if I had a different red, then this would be the perfect project ever. I also want to do dual tone projects sometimes, and I can't do that if I only have one shade of it. So that is the main reason why I selected what I did, but I also have specific projects in mind. For the I Love This Cotton yarn, I make wristlet keychains, and those do pretty well for me on my website, and so I just want to have a couple more color variety options for people to select from. And for the acrylic yarn, I really enjoy making scarves, cardigans, beanies, ear warmers with it. So I don't have specific projects in mind, but I do have a general idea, and so for me, in my brain, it is a justified purchase. And also, by the way, all the yarn this week was 30% off, so that's why I got it. With that all being said, now it is time to organize it all because I have nowhere to put it. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all around, tell y'all what the goals and priorities are, and let's get started. I have 5 goals that I would like to reach. Priority number 1 is shelving. Shelf number 1 is full. This shelf is not full, however, it's not very reasonable to stack it up all the way to the ceiling because then it's not very accessible. Shelf number 3 is also completely full, although it is not a shelf. I do consider it a shelf because it pretty much does the same thing as a regular shelf. Also, take a drink of water for every time I say shelf. Water's good for you. You should do it. I highly recommend it. I probably should do it as well when I watch this back. Shelf number 4 is also full, except for one section that is random camera equipment, but even this shelf down here is full. And oh, by the way, these drawers, yeah, they don't have clothes in them. It's yarn. Yeah, it's yarn and more yarn. That's my shelving situation. So I desperately need the 2 new shelves put into the closet right alongside the other one. Priority number 2 is to take down my over-the-door yarn organizer and figure out what I'm going to do with the yarn that is in it. Here is my over-the-door organizer, and as you can see, it is also pretty full. And this is the yarn that I have been honestly avoiding, and it's very easy to avoid because it's behind the door, and if I leave the door open, I can't see it. Also, if we just take a closer look here, it is hanging on by a thread actually I should say hook, because I don't know where the other two went. And that one is severely warped. So at any given point in time, it is probably just going to fall. And then it's just not going to be very helpful to me anymore. So definitely need to get this removed and get the yarn moved to another space. Priority number 3 is project bags. That's it. I don't know what else to say to that because I don't know what to do with them, to be completely honest. And I'm hoping that in today's video I can figure that out. Here are all of my yarn bags. Priority number 4 is to move my supplies. The way I have them right now, it's a bit jumbled and a bit of a mess, and it's hard for me to access certain things. And I also need to move my already made products. These are the supplies that I was talking about. I have bubble wrap, ornaments, tissue paper. These need to be moved so I can easily access these buckets. I also need to move my finished products. I've got scrunchies in this bottom box here. I've got other random finished products here. And then this is just yarn that I recently purchased, and this is a random project. So technically that shouldn't even be there. It should be in one of these. Priority number 5 is whatever else I can think of or that I decide to do as I'm doing this, because as of right now, that's all I can think of. I figured as I'm reorganizing, I'm probably going to come up with something else that needs to be done. And so that's what priority number 5 is. It's just an open slot. That's it. That's all it is. I have nothing really designated to it right now, but I have that inkling feeling that I'm going to need to put something there, and I'm not going to know it until I'm reorganizing. So those are the priorities. I am going to start with priority number 1 because I did list them in order of importance, and I'm going to get the shelves put in here. Wish me luck. I don't think they're heavy, but they might be. Hopefully not. Well, would you look at that? Also, yes, I did do this backwards. My husband and I, when we first built this, we didn't realize that the white part was supposed to be facing you, but it's fine. It's going to be covered up anyway. I'm not worried about it. Now I've got the shelves in. I am so happy with this. OMG. I'm gonna take a squat here for a second. Also, I found a couple stitch markers. Are we surprised? No, not at all. That's why I wanted to make a trinket dish, and it didn't go as planned, but I would like to try again at some point. I am very excited about the new shelving. It's not new. I actually am using my old bookshelves. I used to be really into reading. I'm not really into reading anymore. But I moved those all onto another bookshelf so I could have these in here for yarn, which is what I've been doing every day for the last, I don't know how many, 2 years, I think? So yeah, now what I'm going to do is I am going to get some yarn moved. And I think the first yarn that needs to be moved is the over-the-door organizer. I didn't make it in the trash can. Gosh darn it. I think the best way to do it, since it's already organized by the type of yarn, in my brain at least for me, I'm just going to go one by one, and I'm probably going to try and put them all on a shelf all together, and that can be the yarn that I've been avoiding shelf, and I need to be able to see it so I do use it. Currently sitting on the floor just because it's the best way to do this. I'm going to start off with this one. So, oh, and this is a cake that is all destroyed. So, okay, here's the other thing that I'm going to add to my list now that I am thinking of it as I am now doing this. I am going to set aside skeins that need to be wound up because this is just not going to cut it. I'm going to make a pile for that. The rest of these I think are fine, and some of them I've kind of just wrapped it around. It'll be fine. So I'm going to start putting them on the shelf, and I think I'm going to put it on the top shelf so I can see it clearly and know that, hey, by the way, you need to use this yarn. And I think I'm going to just stack them like that. Perfect. Now when I do wind that skein up, I don't know how I'm going to fit it. I'm probably just going to fit it vertically rather than horizontally. But now I'm going to move on to this one. This is now emptied. need a drink. I'ma buy you a drink. Ooh wee. I'ma take you home with me. That's what I say to the yarn as I'm in the store. Anyways, I had to get a drink. My voice is a little scratchy. I don't know if it really helped anything, but the first shelf is done. I am very happy about this. I don't know what I'm going to do on the tops of the shelves. I might leave them empty for now just to see what I can fit in the shelves, but number one is done. I am now going to, well, what do I want to do next? Probably get my Hobby Lobby yarn over here. Let's do that. What is this? I have no idea what this is supposed to be. Well, we're gonna frog that because I don't even know what it was going to be. So that's a frog. Should I wind that up? It's like a half-used skein. We're gonna set that off to the side because if I don't have a good plan for the cakes, then I really don't want to make more cakes and then not know exactly what to do with them. So there you have it. Is it only? See, this is what I was talking about. These are the only yellows that I have. That's it. Just two. Just two. I think this is Big Twist. Should I include it? I'm going to set it off to the side for now and figure out what I want to do with it. Is there a label for this? Hello? Okay, I'm definitely going to wind this up. So put that in the wind pile. Here's more white. I'm going to put that over there with it because it's too big to be a scrap in my opinion. If you think otherwise, let me know and I'll just throw it in the scrap bin because it's not that big of a deal. Variegated yarns. Whoop whoop. I don't know why I said that. Ignore that. Okay, is that all of my Hobby Lobby yarn? I think so. So I have more acrylic yarn down here. But it is Big Twist, Loops and Threads, Dollar Tree stuff. And I really don't know what to do with that. So I'm going to put this here. This is also technically a Hobby Lobby yarn. But it's not a Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. Also, it's a cake. I don't know what to do with it. I'm going to put it here. So maybe I'll have like a cake section. These two right here are left. I did take care of all the yarn that was probably sponsored by my husband. It is already on the shelf. So I am going to organize the shelf and then we'll go from there and figure out what we're going to do with the cakes. I will figure out what I'm going to do with the other acrylic yarn because it's a different variety. I may just include it with what I have because I think it doesn't make any sense to separate it out, especially since they already have the labels on them. If they don't have the labels on them, I don't think it's going to matter. Here is what the shelves are looking like right now. And I think I am going to go ahead and pull the other acrylic yarn and put it over here. And then for the cube organizer, I don't know if I want to keep it or get rid of it, to be honest. I'm going to have to think about that because I did not think I had this much Hobby Lobby yarn, but I do in fact do. And so this is probably going to take 2 full shelves, and then I don't know about the other acrylic yarn. You know what? I think it'll be fine because I think this will be like the plush chenille yarn, except I do have more right there. So where am I going to put that? Because I don't want it in the bucket. I'd rather it be out where I can see it and grab it easily. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this. So hold please. I'm wondering if I should move the bigger ones up top. No. Actually, no. I am moving the bottom shelf to the top shelf. And the reason for that is because the bottom shelf is completely cakes. Like, they're all cakes. So that will be easier for them to sit up on the top shelf versus these skeins where they can roll and fall off the shelf. So that means then this bucket here is going to go on the bottom shelf. I will be able to access the yarn there rather than in the bucket because the bucket is just not going to work. And then maybe the bucket can hold my finished products. Okay, I'm liking where this is going. I think I like that. As for the acrylic yarn, I'm going to keep Hobby Lobby and these 2 shelves here. And the bottom shelf will be the other brands of acrylic yarn, just so I know exactly which is Hobby Lobby and which is not, because I do strongly prefer the Hobby Lobby yarn. And actually, does that yarn need to move to the avoiding shelf? Because I have been avoiding those yarns. For now, I don't think so. Oh my gosh, I forgot the other shelf. I forgot I have a little tiny shelf of acrylic yarn, and it's Red Heart, and I most certainly have been avoiding that yarn because I do not like Red Heart. So technically that should be moved, but honestly I kind of like that it's being hidden because I don't want to face that problem. I don't like Red Heart. It's too rough. It's just terrible to work with. I understand that it holds up really well, and as you use it, it wears very well as well. But I can't get past the texture. So maybe I need to donate those. Maybe that would be the best case scenario for those specifically. Yeah, I will think about that. I need to make a list of the things that I'm supposed to be thinking about. I'm going to focus on this. This is what I'm going to focus on now. Get this organized and get the rest of the acrylic yarn, get that organized, put it on the bottom section of this shelf. See if I have any other acrylic yarn laying around anywhere. Look in the bags. I forgot to do that for the other yarn too. Yikes. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm going to get started with that right now. I'm going to wind this skein up. I'm going to wind this one up too. It is definitely losing its shape as a skein. Here's the acrylic shelf and how it is looking. Now what I did is I did like color order that made sense in my brain for me. Oh no, that doesn't make sense. Why did I do that? Oh, I need to fix that. Oh no, why did I do that? I'm gonna fix it later. And then I put the cakes right here because I figured that would be the best place to put them. And I put the other random yarn here in this little section. I want to make sure that I use it up. And then I have my Hobby Lobby variegated yarns in this section. Here is an update on the yarn that needs to be winded up. I'm going to go ahead and wind this one up as well. I am now going to work on the chenille shelf. I am going to move all the skeins that are on the bottom that are cakes to the top here. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of this. I'm probably just going to move it to the side for now. As I work on this, I will then take everything out of the bucket, put it on the bottom shelf, and then with the empty bucket, I am going to put in my finished products that I have available on my website, not my drop items. I would like to display my drop items. I'm really proud of them. I've worked really hard on them. Not that I haven't worked really hard on these, but the plushies took a decent amount of time. And I'm just really happy to have this stuff sitting out because it's winter Valentine vibes, you know? Mardi Gras too, somewhere in there. It's buried, but it's in there. So that is my plan for now. I found more of this yarn, the Nap Time Velvet Baby yarn. I'm going to put it on the other shelf. Empty tote. Full shelf of chenille yarn. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Now I did have to get a little creative with the medley colors because I did run out of space. I didn't realize that they had this many color options for this brand. So I put the red medley with the red, the blue with the blue, brown got its own color, and then black and white went on top of black. So that's how that worked out. I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I just don't know what I'm going to do with the other tops of the shelves over here and over there. So, got to figure that out. But I am now going to move the items on there that I had into this tote. I do have another bin for like smaller items. So, I'm going to move the smaller items to those. I'm going to save those over here. And also, this isn't finished and this isn't finished, so that needs to go somewhere else. And this is a finished product, but it's not listed, so also needs to go somewhere else. This basket, this tote is specifically for items that are listed on my website that are ready to go. Items that are not listed on my website, personal projects, they're not going to go in here. These are scrunchies. I like to put my scrunchies in organizers like these. It's just easy to see and grab and go as needed. So I'm going to put those into one of these. And actually, I think I have some room in here. So let's see if I can fit them all into here. All done. I do have an extra basket container, so I am going to save this. I don't know where I'm going to put it though. Actually, I'm going to put it on the top shelf because I can use this as like supplies in case I do markets. I can use it to transport items. As for where I'm going to put these, I don't know where I want to put them. I don't want them on the floor. I don't want them up here. Maybe I put them up here. I would then have to move my yarn a little bit around on top. Here's how this shelf is looking. I did end up moving this yarn here from up there. I did move these little skeins of chenille yarn on top of there. I don't know that I love that. I'm thinking of moving it, but I feel like they're not considered scrap yarn because I feel like they're not small enough at this point. I don't know. I do have my January drop items right there for now. I did put my baskets and, well, not my baskets, my totes here. Don't love those there either, to be completely honest. I want this to be completely yarn, but putting it up there doesn't work. So, because that's going to end up being in my background, and I don't necessarily want that to be the case. So, the alternative is to put it up there, but that's where I was planning on putting my office supplies. So, I guess that's the next thing I'm going to do. I am going to move my office supplies up there to see what I can fit up there. And then I will see if I can fit my totes up there as well. I have moved those totes up top. Is it the most convenient? No. But I do know exactly where they are. They will not move around. I also do know my ornaments are up there for next Christmas. Well, I guess technically this coming Christmas because it is 2026 now. I found all sorts of stuff that I've made throughout the last 2 years. I don't know what to do with these items. If y'all have suggestions, please let me know because I don't know that I would like to list them in my site or if I would want to put them in my drop. Now this was like a test run. This is not great. This is actually my husband's. I'm going to give that back to him. I don't know why that's in here. I was trying to do like a different type of keychain at one point. As you can see, it landed in the... Oh, you know what? I am going to take that apart though. I can use that for scrap yarn. Okay, another thing to do. Take some items apart. See? Scrap yarn. I did the thermal stitch. I wanted to try that out for a wristlet, and I think it's really sturdy and nice, but I made it too thick. So... And I need to get my hardware back so I can have that on hand. A washcloth. I need that. This was a scrunchie. Ugh. I did triple crochet, and I'm sorry, this is way too big. I also used the Hobby Lobby yarn instead of like Bernat Velvet, Juicy Couture, or even like the Dollar Tree, just chenille yarn, you know? This is way too thick, so that's not usable. It's just as a reminder, I guess. But yeah, that's what's in here. So I'm setting these to the side because I know what I'm going to do with them. That needs to go back in there because I don't want to throw it away, but I also don't know what to do with it. And the rest of the items I'm just going to leave in here for now. The bucket itself I'm just going to put somewhere. I don't know where exactly yet, but I am going to use these items because I do need another washcloth. So that's that tote that I can put away now somewhere. I might just stuff it somewhere in the closet, to be honest, because where else am I going to put it? I am very happy with the progress that I've made so far tonight, and I did find a place for that bucket of items that had all of my projects in it that I was like, I don't know what to do with these. So things are coming along very nicely. I'm very happy with the progress, and I am excited to get started on this tomorrow because I did do way more than I expected, which we're going to do a little check-in, by the way, on the priority list. The first one was move shelves in the closet. I did that. Move yarn from over the door hanger. Did that. I did not figure out project bags. I skipped that one, but we can do that tomorrow. That's fine. Number 4 was move supplies and organize products. I did also do that. And then my anything else list, I need to add on wind yarn, frog projects. I need to reorganize random cotton yarn. That's where I'm at as of now. I am going to go ahead and go to bed, and I will see y'all tomorrow morning. It has been a couple of days since I've worked in my yarn room and reorganizing my yarn stash, but I did take a look at what I need to do, and I still need to wind my yarn, frog projects, and reorganize my random cotton yarn. And I also, looking at my project bags, I have more yarn that I need to organize. So that is what I'm going to do today, and hopefully I can get it all completed, and then I can move on to making products for my drop because I really do need to work on that. That is going to be for another video though, but I'm going to go ahead and get started immediately because I am on a little bit of a time crunch for today, and I just want to get my space done and organized so that way I don't have to worry about it anymore. So let's go ahead, take a look, figure out what I'm going to do. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but I'm not sure. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you. Here are the project bags that I need to go through still. I definitely need to do that, but the problem that I'm having is I do have more yarn right here, and I'm not sure what to do with it. This is what I'm looking at right now. I have all of my cotton yarn here and in this drawer, and then I have velvet yarn, the Bernat Velvet and Juicy Couture yarn. I want to leave the Juicy Couture and Bernat Velvet yarn in here. I like the way that it's organized. This is solid Lily Sugar and Cream yarn. This is the variegated yarn that's cotton. There's more cotton variegated yarn of the same type of feel as Lily Sugar and Cream. And then this is the Hobby Lobby yarn right here. This is the bulky cotton blend maybe, that's solid colors from Michaels, and then some more random cotton yarn. I think what I want to do is I am going to move like my random cotton yarn onto the shelf that's below y'all right now, including this yarn. So the Hobby Lobby yarn I think is going to go onto the top shelf. Nope, that's not going to work because that's not going to, I don't know what I'm going to do with that bag of yarn. Okay, new plan. I'm going to put the yarn that is in the bag currently on the very top shelf. The yarn that is the random bits of yarn from different brands is going to go on the shelf below y'all. And then I am going to move my loops and thread yarn, the peaches and cream yarn, in with the Lily Sugar and Cream yarn because it's basically the same thing, so there's no reason for me to separate it out. So that is my game plan for right now. I'm going to start with moving the yarn that needs to go on the shelf below y'all. Scrap yarn, need to wind that up. Oh, my ornament! I'm going to put this on my tree because my tree is still up. Yes, it's still up. So I'm going to put this up on my tree so that way I know that it needs to be packed with my other ornaments. These are some more projects that need to be frogged, so I'm going to put these in the frog and wind yarn pile. I also need to cut this off because this needs to be put back up. I have decided to change plans again with the yarn. I did just move all of my yarn that I wanted moved from this shelf, put over here. I will organize that in just a minute, but since I'm over here already, I am going to move all my Lily Sugar and Cream yarn that is solid onto this shelf. All of the variegated yarn that is up here will be moved down to here. And then the Hobby Lobby yarn will stay up here on this shelf that y'all cannot see currently. And the yarn that is in the bag, I am going to put in this drawer. As you can see, I went ahead and rearranged my solid cotton yarn, so this drawer is now empty, but I honestly do not like it. And I also have skeins that I have to wind up, and so then there's going to be even more yarn to add to this shelf. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I might try and reorganize it again. Maybe. Let me see if I can try and make this shelf work one more time, because I do not like the way this looks. I think it's a bit of a jumbled mess. So let me try and work on that. Okay, some of the colors are hidden, but I do know the general colors that are in each row, so I'm very happy about that. And I also have more yarn that needs to be wound up, so I do have some space here. It's limited, but there is some more space here, so I can add those colors in as well. So I'm happy with this. I think that's all of the... I almost tripped and fell. Oh my goodness. I got all of the Lily Sugar and Cream done. I am now going to do my Hobby Lobby cotton. I just had a thought. Trying to get up here and keep this organized is going to be very difficult. So I'm actually going to move the Hobby Lobby yarn from this shelf into this drawer, because I use it all of the time, so I do need to have it very accessible to me. The yarn that is in the bag will go up on top because I don't use that very much. I do have an idea of what I want to do with it. I'm not going to be able to do it anytime soon. That's my game plan. Move this into this drawer, move the yarn in the bag up here. I know it was really hard to see, but I went ahead and got my Hobby Lobby yarn up in here, and I like the depth of these drawers because I'm able to stand my Hobby Lobby yarn vertically instead of having to stack them, similar to how I have my Juice Couture velvet yarn in my other drawer. So love the size of these drawers, honestly. And then I do have some of my cakes here, and then if I do have more Hobby Lobby yarn, I have plenty of space here to add some more. But that is the cotton yarn all figured out for this shelf. I probably should move on to this shelf now. Cotton shelf number 1 done, cotton shelf number 2 done. Now I am considering caking these because the rest of them are caked except for these 3, but I don't know how much space I will save by doing that. And then same goes for these, right? I have this one caked, but these ones have not been caked. So I'm considering doing that, and this just be like the cake of cotton yarn shelf. I don't know. It kind of just looks a little wonky to me a little bit. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it, who knows. But for now, I am going to leave it as is, and I am very happy with how this turned out. And I really did not realize how much this would take up. Like, I thought maybe I could fit all of this onto here, and I probably could if I wanted to squeeze it all in, but I don't want to have to do that if I don't have to. But I still have some room for extra yarn if I do ever get any more. So, I am now going to deal with this bag of yarn, I guess. Back on the floor I am. I think I'm just going to go through these and pull out which ones I need to wind up. Actually, I really do need to wind all of them. I'm just going to pull these out. I'm going to put them up on the shelf. I will wind these all up one day. It's just not going to be today. And I don't even know if I'm going to get to the other yarn that needs to be winded up. If y'all are interested in seeing a video of me winding up yarn, let me know and I'd be happy to do that. Well, that's done. I'm pretty happy with that. I am going to leave my other red heart yarn where it is on the bottom shelf because it fits there oh so perfectly and I'm just not going to mess with it. So that's going to stay. This is how this shelf is completely looking now. I am very happy with how this turned out. I'm hoping the other yarn should fit on here without a problem, which is great. And if I happen to get more, then I have a little bit more room. And yeah, so I think that's literally all the yarn that I have that I'm able to put up on this shelf. So I'm now going to take a look into my project bags and figure out what I'm going to do with those. Here is the tote that was full of the yarn from the estate sale. I am happy that this is empty now. First bag, I'm just going to grab and go. This is the Karen, what is this, macchiato cakes. And this is what I was using to do my scarf. However, it is a bit of a jumbled mess. I'm going to wind it around here because I do not feel like winding this entire cake up again because it's pretty much already caked up. So we're just going to wrap it around the label and I think that'll be just fine. This is now emptied. Next bag is a blanket that I've been working on for months now. What do we have in here? Okay, goody. More Hobby Lobby yarn. So I am going to just leave it in the bag because I have literally nowhere else to put it currently. So this bag is good to stay as is. This is a whip basket, or bag actually. And I'm going to be honest, I don't want to mess with this one either. These are projects that I do not want to face right now. It's a baby blanket that was ruined. Accident. I have a bag in here that I don't really know if I want to finish, if I want to redo it, reuse yarn. I don't know, but it's the thermal stitch, super thick, too heavy to be a bag. This bag is going to stay as well. This is my blanket. I'm going to go ahead and frog it. I really am not enjoying the pattern for this. I'm going to put it back up on the top shelf over there. That means this is emptied. Throw that over there. This is that project that was in the basket that I went ahead and put in a bag. And it is a scrap yarn basket. It's looking a little warped, so I don't know if it's actually going to hold up well or not. I think I'm going to put this in the bag that has the projects I don't want to deal with because I really don't want to deal with it, to be completely honest. I'm going to keep it in this bag, just kind of fold it up, stuff it in the other bag. Because there is yarn in there and I don't want it to get even more tangled with the other items. So there's that solved. And, well, not really solved. It's a problem for another day, basically. This bag has all of my cardigans that I made that I have listed on my website. And these are just basically like me. I was testing out the sizing of them. I'm going to take these out of the bag. These are definitely going to come out of the bag because they've been sitting in the bag for I don't know how long. And I think what I want to do is fold them up and put them on my cubicle shelving that's to the right. I'm going to go ahead, stand up, do that, and I think after that I'm done, but I'll double check my to-do list, see if that is the case, and we'll go from there. Here are the cardigans all nicely tucked into the cube hanging organizer. I do have some open spaces though, just in case I decide to put more products in here, more cardigans, more yarn. I'm not sure, but the space is there if it's needed. I went ahead and put up the yarn as well, so that is done. I went ahead and moved my whip bags to the side against the wall, as well as my stuffing basket, because the drawers here I don't really access very often. But if I do need to access them, then just pushing these items back and then right back to where they were is not going to be a problem, and I think that's the best place for them to be. And since I've finished everything except for frogging projects and winding up my yarn, I figured I would go ahead and show y'all how everything looks all completed for the most part. So here is my chenille shelf. Here is the acrylic yarn shelf with my finished January drop items on top. This is the pile that needs to be frogged and or wound up. Cotton yarn, and this is the yarn that I've been avoiding. Here are all of my supplies moved over here on top, and then I have my estate sale yarn that I need to eventually wind up and go through and make sure it's all good to go to use. My solid cotton yarn, variegated cotton yarn, and then in this drawer I have my Hobby Lobby yarn. That is going to be the end of today's video. I know it was a long one, but I really hoped y'all enjoyed the yarn haul as well as the reorganizing my yarn stash. I know I am very happy with how everything turned out. I still need to wind up my yarn that's over here, back there, as well as frog the projects that need to be frogged. But I may do that for another video, as I mentioned earlier. So if you're interested in seeing that, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will be sure to do that at some point in time. Don't know exactly when it will be, but I can get it done sooner rather than later. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and click subscribe and ring the bell to receive all the notifications of when I upload. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And with that, I will see y'all in my next video on Thursday. Bye!